Here we are again. Uh, this lesson, if you will, that I've learned for myself and what I'd like to try to articulate to you is the way the world is. It's all manipulated. Let's just start with that. Everything. You think the opposing side to you is the only one that's being manipulated to? You think only the religion that's opposed to your religion uh, is being manipulated? You're all being manipulated by all the same people, probably. And what comes with this manipulation is a distorted reality of what things probably really are if they're real at all. For example, we know Jesus is real. We know the New Testament is real. Dispensationalism is not real. It was made up. Mormonism was made up. Seventh-day Adventist, made up. Catholic Church, made up. All these things are made up. Judaism itself, the religion that existed and was practiced during Jesus' time, was something that was made up by men, humans, and used to manipulate people. The sole purpose and why Christianity got started, another manipulated religion overall, is hey, we got this guy, everyone likes him. Everyone's doing what he says, everyone's loyal to him, it's very popular, and there's no structure for it. We'll become that structure. And we'll tell people what to do. And they'll have to listen to us because, well, they'll go to hell. Fast forward to today, in the past 100 years or so, you have communist agitators, usually coming from the Jewish, what we would refer to as the Jewish position. They're not really Jews. It's like a Catholic saying, I'm a Catholic. My grandparents were Catholic. My aunt still attends a Catholic church. But out of the four girls that my grandparents had, my mother including, never attended church after they grew up. So it's hard to say, like myself, or let's say my mother, that we're Catholic, because we're not Catholic. It's a religious view. So saying you're Jewish is the exact same thing. I'm a Jew. And I wanted to put that in perspective because if you look at John the Baptist's parents, according to the New Testament, were righteous before the eyes of God. And some other people too. I don't even know if you could call them Jews because it's a religious thing. They were followers of the word of Moses, which is in turn the words of God. I am a disciple of Christ by choice. And what Christ is telling me is what God told Christ to tell all of us. That's my loyalty. Not to an organization that said, hey, we got quite an opportunity here. Good or bad. It always turns out bad. And everything like it turns out bad because that was not the intention. Jesus didn't come to bring us a religion. He came to rescue us from religion. Release us from the shackles. Lay down your burden and pick up my burden. What's his burden? Follow the commandments. The same thing that's always been true since day one, whenever this started. Some people would say the Mosaic covenant, as far as what I'm referring to. And before, obviously. Because we're all humans. We're all the same. We've never changed since Adam, obviously. And it was never intended to be so. This Christian religion, this Jewish religion. And that's why it's so manipulated. Jesus was born into the system, but he rejected the system. His apostles that were chosen by God followed along, but they also obeyed too. But Jesus told them, if you want to follow me, you have to give up everything. And it's the same thing for us today, in our minds and in our heart. We have to give up everything for God. Because if we can't do that, how can we speak to God? And it's not always quite clear all the time, even to myself when it was happening, that it was true. But I did it without really knowing it. Very lucky. All I did was have faith, and it just happened. Same thing for you. All you have to do is have faith, and it will just happen. Faith in something that you can't believe in or see. If you don't see it, you don't believe it. And that's why everything is so dangerous, and that's why everything is manipulated. You yourself manipulate yourself. Do you know that? Someone says, wow, you're a real jerk at that party the other day. You give yourself an excuse. Well, you said something that made me angry. You just manipulated yourself. It's an excuse. And everyone has one. Everyone wants to control you. Everyone wants to rule over you. And there's people that have been doing a lot longer than you have, that are in charge of everything. And they have children, and they teach their children to follow along. And we don't really know who these people are. It doesn't matter. 70, 80, whatever percent of people in America are Christians, but we have presidents like we've had, even the one we have now. If Jesus, let's say Jesus was replicated, cloned, the same exact person, same exact values, everything. Let's say God just somehow sent enough where it would comprise of 90% of the current American population. Do you think the things that would happen in this country would happen with that many people thinking that way? No. The 10% could do whatever they want. It just would never happen. They would strive to become president, and your politician and your leader and your church leader. Would never happen. They wouldn't make it that far. Their manipulation tactics wouldn't work. Yet 99% of Christians of this group, this hypothetical group in America of Jesus, understand. 99% of Christians of the real group, I hope I'm getting this right, don't understand what Jesus said. 90% of the people in this world were Jesus, they would understand. Let's just say 70% of this same group of individuals in America currently, right now, for real, were Christians. They don't understand anything of what Jesus said. Nothing. Because everything they've been told is a lie. Some sort of distorted manipulative narrative of what's being said and what's not being said. And they can't tell the difference. It doesn't matter anyway, because they were born, I was born Catholic, and my grandpa was Catholic, and my mom's Catholic, and my 16-time great grandfather was Catholic. We've all been Catholic. It's the oldest religion. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, we're Protestant. We have a better view of this or that. We have the truth. We have the gospel. We have, it doesn't matter what religion you belong to. It's still all manipulated. And you can't stop it. Because it's here on earth and you're here on earth. So where do you go? Straight to God. You have the ability to talk to him. It's not like this movie, it was The Shack, These ideas that you have to go and talk to some sort of intercessor at your church to confess your sins or even to talk to someone about it. No. Jesus, according to the narratives, if you look at it, made everything possible. He taught his own apostles how to pray. He prayed. Matthew goes into pretty good detail about it, like chapter 7. People are told that everything is still yet to come, even though the Bibles that they have clearly say that it's already happened. But then they have to manipulate you a little more. And we have these theological schools, seminary schools, liberal arts schools that teach New Testament religion. And they lie to you. And they all have something in common. They're lying to you, they're manipulating you, and they hate you. Even if they're your best friend, even if they smile every time at you and say, oh, good job. They're only telling you that to reinforce a behavior. They're brainwashing you. When you do what they want, oh, you're so smart. You're such a smart, intelligent person. You're going to change the world. To, no, technically that wouldn't be, they have to come, they have these very technical points that they bring up. And they're not even truthful points. There's a lot of, let's say, what if, right? They move things away from reality and create a new reality. What if, and then that's what they base it off of. Remember a theory of hyperbole? Remember the theory of, that's what they start giving all these names. Sola scriptura. All these terms and stuff, things that I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. And that's their Bible. That's what they turn it into. They manipulate it and they mutate it into something that was never meant to be. I have some advice if someone wanted to take it. If you want to learn the Bible, go to where a bunch of pagans are, like Athens, Greece, for example, or Thessalonica in Greece. Go to the major universities there and learn ancient Greek, just ancient Greek, the language, and the writings, and the poetry. You want to know what Jesus said? Learn the language that it was written in, and you'll know everything. I couldn't do that, but I asked God, and I got the same answer. I didn't have to go anywhere. Because there's nothing on this earth that's a substitute for going to God. It's all a dead end. And it's on purpose. It's contrast, basically. Contrast between what is real and what's not real. As if I have looked away from this world towards God, I can see the difference where I couldn't see the difference before. I was in the same boat. Wow, I really like this Jesus guy. I guess I'll go to church. Oh, rapture, huh? Okay, cool. And everyone thinks that. And you're satisfied. Even though it's completely fake. No rapture. Never was. But so many people believe it. Because they're stupid. And they're stupid because the brainwashing worked. They were given an answer, they were satisfied, and they didn't have to look any further. And they just reinforced that and reinforced other things over and over and over again. That's why during COVID, they need you to come to church, because the spell would be broken. And that's all it is. It's a spell. They're playing a little flute, and you kind of, oh, I like that. And as long as they keep playing, oh, I like that. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, I went to church today, and that doesn't change who you are. Because you're the problem. You were born into this world amongst everyone else who are horrible. And now all that nastiness has become who you are by nature. Your parents screwed you up. You screwed yourself up. You're screwing your own kids up. And they'll screw their kids up. And it has to stop somewhere. And when you go to God, it stops for you. You don't do anything. I still can't explain how these things work, but I can articulate a little bit as I look in the past and I see all these things. This is my testimony to you from the difference between where I was and what I saw and where I am now and what I see now in others. And I'm not judging anyone because they're already judged. It's kind of like when that person comes to your school because they got a DUI. Like, ooh. Yeah, I went to jail and I lost my car, my job, and I have to do this because the judge tells me to. If none of this other happened, I'd still be drinking, and I'll still be drinking anyway. Why? Because my life is miserable. Right? It's not going to make them stop. You can embarrass someone, and it's the exact same thing these colleges do, and these seminaries do, and your churches do. They just embarrass you. Oh, you did something wrong, and we'll make you. Have you learned your lesson yet? Have you learned to just conform and don't fight? Just do what we tell you? That's basically what it is. Oh, you could have hurt someone. There's always some sort of truth to it, but it's not an absolute truth. You didn't learn anything by stopping drinking, and you didn't learn anything from church. All you know is Jesus is going to come any day now. It's been 2,000 years, but any day he's going to come, and he's just going to fix everything. All you have to do is just sit around and keep that smile on your face. Keep going to church. Got to have faith in something that isn't even going to happen. And if you took 2 seconds to just read it for yourself, which I know is tough, logic, just as a normal person who reads, you could tell, let's say this, a good reader. I'm not a good reader, but there's really good readers out there. Like I know some attorneys are really good readers. They can read and they can really comprehend stuff. And they can see everything as a whole. I can only see, that much. Next chapter, I pretty much forgot everything. That's why I had to read the Bible. I'm not kidding, 100 times, especially certain verses. Maybe not the whole book 100 times, but especially certain verses over and over and over and over and over and over again. 100 times. I'm not kidding. Because that's what it took. But now I know it like the back of my hand. And it's been like that with everything my whole life. I've always had to try harder because I just don't get it. I can take an engine apart, put it back together, no problem. But most people don't do that. Most people are smart. They just read it once. Oh yeah, I understand what you're saying, and boom, off to the next thing. That's why we go to college. You don't sit there and they teach you calmly. They shove this stuff down your throat. You got a lot to learn. It's going to be tough. You're just going to be studying all the time. We're just going to shove this stuff down your throat, and you better digest it. You don't even know what's going on. That's not what Jesus taught. That's not what Jesus is. I don't know if those people went to school. I doubt it. Even the apostles, I don't care. And they didn't understand it. But then they started to. And it wasn't because they went to school. There's actually a couple people Like that Paula Friedrichsen, who is, a Satanist. She's one of these Jews. I'm a Jew, but you're not a Jew. Just like I'm not a Catholic, but they say that they're Jews. I don't know what they are. They're Satanists is what they are. But they make these claims. And it's not even close to being correct. Not even close. It's a lie. It's a manipulative lie. And on a subconscious level, whether you're aware of it or not, the true intent is to manipulate you and get you to think about something else, to distract you, to put you on a treadmill that you never come off of. And then you become disillusioned and you don't know which way is up and you lose your faith because Pastor Bob told you this and it turns out it wasn't true. But you still love Pastor Bob. He's a great guy. You still love Grandma and Grandpa. But then you have these people who are really smart. And they know all this stuff and everyone agrees. All these scholars agree. Till you go to Athens, Greece, and you talk to a classicist there, and they're like, I don't know where the hell they got that from. And the classicists don't care because Koine Greek is like kindergarten stuff. They don't care about that. These people are the keeper of keys of Greek history and culture. They're on the tip of the spear of that stuff. They're basically, it's like our Smithsonian, okay? They're specifically trained for those types of things. They're not going to read the New Testament. They don't care. And they're pagans. I'll just label them that. And that world and our Christian world is divided between those two places. And there's really no bridge between them. And anyone and everyone that does interact between them, more likely is delusioned. Or you don't hear about them. Or they do know about it and you just don't hear about them. If you look at my videos, no one watches these things. No one's going to. And I can't blame them. Because they're not interested. They're not interested in finding out what they need to do. Because they are lost. Just like I was lost. When I make these videos, basically I'm making them to myself. 20 years ago. Everything was for a reason. And I get it. And in the scheme of things, it didn't matter at all. But I understood why I had to go through it. And I accidentally, I would say, more than likely I was brought to it. Because I do think God, if he says, look, there's this person, I could get this person. All I have to do is this, and this. They won't notice, and they'll come to me. And it's going to be great. That one person, can't do anything about them. Not going to bother. But if he can make it happen, which he can, but it depends upon you, he'll do it. But you're the problem. Because you're in the world and all you see is the world. And you've become just like the world. That's why you need to revert back. Basically, like Jesus says, into the womb. To be born again. I know he didn't say that exactly, but he said you need to regress back to like a child. Because you still have a child in you. This thing that's inside you, it's like a child. Innocent. And pure. Unmolested by the world. But the biggest problem is yourself. And your ego. I masturbate to porn. I eat too much. I have high blood sugar and I'm not supposed to be eating carbs, but I do. I'm lazy. None of these things are things to be proud of. But it's a fact. And you know in your life the things you do. I don't even know if masturbation's a sin. It doesn't matter if it is or not. It's the fact that I am not concealing it from him. Because it's an embarrassment. It really is. I don't go around and tell everyone this stuff. Because they will look at you different. No one wants anyone who's going to be honest about everything. Like a kid, my mom has hemorrhoids. You know, the things that kids say, they even made a TV show about it. But they don't know any better. It's just a fact. And that's how you have to be with God. Honest. You are supposed to be a student under his tutelage. That's the design. That's what you're destined for. You're the one with the problem. You go to him and say, how do I get to where I'm at to where you're at? I'm your humble servant. You're the apple of my eye. How do I get there? And you listen, and it happens. You don't know why. You can't explain it. I can't. I'm not a poet. I'm sure there's a lot of people that can. But it just happens. All by itself. Because you cannot do it. You can't do anything. It just doesn't work that way. You can't will yourself to do something. But if you hide things, God's not going to talk to you. If you use religion as a bridge to him, it's not going to work. You can't go to him with your face mask on, with your mask. You have to go by yourself, naked, because you've given everything up in here and in here, and you're swearing a loyalty to him. And you do all these things, but you're not hiding it like the world does. I don't know everything. I don't know exactly what these power brokers of the world and the leaders do. But I know that they're bad people. I know they do things that they could be manipulated into doing even more things. Otherwise, they would have to face the punishment for what they've done. You see it every now and then. Someone goes to jail. A politician goes to jail. They fall. Right? Me Too movement, all of a sudden these people are gone. Some people don't play ball. I mean, you're hanging around people like that, and you do the things that they do, and you're disgusted by it, and then you're honest about it. Of course they're going to destroy you. It's not the place to be honest. I really don't believe that any president of the United States of America has been independent. They have dirt on all of them. Every single one. And they're forced to do what they're told to do. Like what's happening right now in Iran. That's time to invade Iran. That's how it works. Do what we say, or we'll tell people whatever it is they have on them. Same thing with Joe Biden, all these people. And they'll do the same thing to you, if they cared. But it's the same manipulation that people on earth will do you. And it comes from Satan. And it's the same exact thing. It carries over the exact same way as when you go to God. You do things, you feel embarrassed about it, you hide it, and you hide it from God. And he's not going to take you seriously. It's much, much more than being in the wrong religion or the wrong prayers or all this kind of stuff. It really has nothing to do with it. Just because you're Catholic doesn't mean you're not going to heaven. Just because you're Jehovah's Witnesses or a Mormon or a dispensationalist or a Jew or a Muslim doesn't mean you're not going to be with God eternally. It really has nothing to do with it. If you become a leader like your church and you knowingly manipulate people, then that's a big problem. That's blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. You have these people that study the Bible and these mouthpieces on the internet, on the YouTube, all these people that spread the message of these liberal communist agitators and the religious ones. They're all committing heinous sins. I can't imagine what's going to happen to them. I'm just wondering how bad it's going to be for them. And they have no idea. No idea what's going to happen to them. But for the rest of us, the lucky ones, the ones that no one knows, like me, I'm kept from the world. No one wants to know me. That's on purpose. Because you're not supposed to see these things just by watching this video. I'm not teaching you. I'm not in my Bible right now teaching you things. I have before. But in this case, in the beginning, the whole scheme of everything, square one. If this was a college, let's put it in those terms. And it was the first day. Class just started. It's 9:01. Welcome, class. Welcome to college. Today we're going to talk about prayer. And how you need to go to God. And how nothing I can say or anyone else on this planet can say or show you that's going to do anything to change who you are as a person, to regress back into something childlike and good enough to be let into God's kingdom, which is here on earth right now. It's been here for 2,000 years. But you haven't been told that because you've been lied. It actually says it right in front of your books, but you don't look. And anyone that does look and says, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense, they come and smack it out of your hand, smack it out of your mouth, smack it out of your mind. Just like the Pharisees did when Jesus was around. People started to see, and they come up, no. That bum. That's what Jesus was. He was a tramp. He had no home. He was poor. And in Judaism, even today, you gonna listen to some bum that comes up to you? Or some piss-stained, toothless bum walked up to you and said, you know what your problem is? You gonna listen to that person? No. If a limousine pulled up and a nice dressed person got out, walked up to you and said, you got it. You're it. You have it. You're going to listen to him, right? Because he's rich and successful. And it's always been the same thing. What things appear to be really aren't. And what you think isn't possible or isn't happening really has. And you don't know about it because everyone needs to start at the same place. If you really cared about God, you would never, ever give up. And eventually, I believe, because it happened to me, I don't really know anyone that's worse than me in that regard. It took me over 11 years of trying. A little here, a little there. I wasn't kneeling before some cross and flatulating myself every day, trying to will myself to not sin and so it would happen. I just had to float around the world for a while and figure out, realize what it was. And it started to dawn on me. Because I was at a point where something changed. I started to be honest with myself, and that was it. I think that was the last thing to go. Before God said, well, I guess it's as good as it's going to get, so I guess, that's fine. Maybe he'll improve. Probably not, but we'll see. But that's how it was. And I can only look back and say, wow, these things happened. Because I couldn't see it. And I can only see it now because the New Testament said so. But no one else can see what I see. Nobody. I haven't found one person for some of these things. And these scholars, they don't disagree, but they don't see it that way. But they don't disagree. Why? Why do they disagree? Why do they not disagree, but then turn around and say, I don't see it that way? Well, I know you don't see it that way, but could you? They don't answer that question. They don't answer a lot of questions. And I know that they know because they don't answer the question. They don't answer these questions, especially that Bart Ehrman guy. It's kind of like, if Jesus really said that verse at all, ha, 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 have a good day. Because they know what I'm getting at. And they know it's a problem. Because they know that's one of the possibilities. But it's the exact opposite of what they think it is. Kind of a problem. Most of the shit they say isn't even possible. And I only know that because I've talked to these classicists. It's been revealed to me what is being said. Like I said, if you wanted to go to college, go learn the language and you'll understand everything. Because it speaks for itself, language-wise, but it's manipulated. Even though it's not. Even though they twist some of the words in English and they have all these different versions, it's still pretty clear. It's still clear. If you were a good reader. I'm a good detective, I guess. I can look at something and say, this isn't right. Because I've read it so many times, it's like, this doesn't. You could tell there's something wrong, just the way it's written. It actually sounds incomplete, like an incomplete sentence, like a bad sentence, but they try to pull it off anyway. Like if I wrote something like that in school, they'd say, this is a bad sentence, structured bad, it's just F-. And that's how some of these passages were written. It's just like, that doesn't make any sense. Then you look at the language and it's like, no. I don't know what's going on here, but it's something. And that's what they do. And that's why they train all these people up to complete the brainwashing. The book does half, your preacher does the other half. That's why they're so carefully trained. These people are spending, I'm not kidding. What does this guy say? 10 years, 13 years? I'm not kidding. 13 years of your life learning the New Testament, the Bible? I can speak Hebrew and Greek. I doubt it. Their version of Hebrew and Greek. You read and speak their version of Hebrew and Greek. The religious side that you're on. So you'll see it their way. I mean, it's been 2,000 years. They've had plenty of time to set these up, and these are really smart people. But they're so stupid. And they think, well, Jesus is going to come and just fix everything. Come to church, give us your money, and just Teach your kids the same thing, so when they come, we'll have them as members as well. And that's what this is. Don't worry, Jesus is going to come fix everything for you. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to really change. God wants to put you through trials. He just wants you to know that you're faithful. So just pretend to stay faithful. In your mind, just keep telling yourself over and over again, I'm faithful, I'm faithful. Until you get to some liberal lesbian arts college and you find out that everything they said, according to them, doesn't make any sense. And obviously it doesn't, because what your church is telling you is wrong. And then you go to the opposite end of the spectrum and they're saying what they're wrong. It's just like going from a Catholic church to a Protestant church. They tell you all the things that are wrong with Catholicism and you become a Protestant, or vice versa. And these are opposite ends of the spectrums, I guess you could say, wouldn't say politically, but conservative and liberal in that sense. The New Testament world sense. And it's just a bunch of made up nonsense. And then what comes out of it is, wow, Paul doesn't really agree with Jesus. And these narratives are wrong. And all this stuff is wrong. But it's not. I mean, we have artificial intelligence. And they can examine things. And even a dope like me can get on there anonymously and ask a simple question. Does Paul disagree with Jesus? No. So what are these people talking about? I told you, they're manipulating you. Why? Because they hate Jesus. They fucking hate the guy. They hate the guy from a communist perspective. They hate the guy from a Jewish perspective. Their made up version of Judaism, which I guess should be more called, I don't know, Zionism. I don't even know what it is. It's Satanism is what it is. It's Satanism masked as communism. It's Satan masked as Marxism. It's Satanism masked as Christianity. It's Satanism masked as, name it, your cat. And it's everywhere. Everyone's lying to you. Even me. Think about that. There's nowhere you can turn on this planet. But listen to what I'm saying in this regard. Go to God. Where's the harm in that? Think about it. Where's the harm in just praying to God, like it does say in Matthew 7, for example, and just ask him everything? If you can't do that, then why are you wasting your time going to church? Or spend thousands of dollars going to school? Even if you don't pay for it. You could be doing something else. You could be a rocket engineer or something cool. Could be a fireman or a pilot, flight jets. You can do all kinds of stuff. You don't have to waste your time with this stuff. You don't believe in God, so just move on. But if you do believe in God, or at least you think you do, which is how I was. I was somehow convinced that God, Jesus existed. I just didn't know anything about it. Prayer is the only thing you have. It's everything and only thing you have. That's what the New Testament is all about. Yes, they're telling stories, and the Bible applies to a lot of people. Jews 2,000 years ago, Jews after the old covenant had ended and the new one started, pagans. I mean, everyone. It's all encompassing. It's sitting on the table of the world. And anyone and everyone can go up to it. It's for everyone. But it's not for everybody. And people have made universities out of it. They call themselves professors. I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor in Jesusology. Ridiculous. And it's not just because I'm a moron. And I don't want to go to school. I mean, it really is, luckily. I mean, I'm in the right place. Maybe that's the only reason why I'm a disciple of Christ, because I didn't have to go to school. Didn't plan it on purpose, but it's a reality. Because it doesn't take an education. You can't get it with an education. It takes some sort of faith and belief, wherever it came from. You didn't learn about Jesus by reading the New Testament. You heard about it from somebody else. Someone else's voice. Just like someone else's voice 2,000 years ago, before they even had a New Testament. It didn't matter if the New Testament was written yesterday. It's still true. Because people have been talking about it. Who wouldn't talk about something like that? 2,000 years later, people are still talking about it. And you heard about it, and something was put in your head. Something got to you. And you said, I need to start going to church. Before you do anything, go to God. He knows everything. You know nothing. Everyone else knows nothing. In regards to what's actually true, they know that they want you to come to their church so they can manipulate you. They know that. That's not going to take you where you need to go. And that place is God in heaven. That's your destiny. That's the only thing you can take with you, is your faith. Your change from who you were born and who you became being born into this place, and how you turned away from it. And that's all it really is. You're not really learning anything. It's not knowledge. It's just understanding. Oh, now I see. That's why I'm not supposed to put my car keys in the electrical outlet. Okay, I get that now. For years, I was putting my car keys in the electrical outlet because I thought, about the size of my car keys. I just put them in there until I want to take them out and get back in my car and go to work. I mean, it's just things like that. It's the same thing. You just didn't know. Well, my pastor told me to put my car keys in there. That's what he said. That's what she said. But then you learn without knowledge that you're not supposed to do that. And you were hurting yourself the whole time. You didn't even know that. And you were hurting other people by having them do the same thing. You go around, put your car keys in an electric outlet. It's the greatest thing on earth. You thought it was a good thing. And the more people you got to do it, the more people applauded you for doing it. And now you're a great person. Now you're a good Christian. In good standing with that church. Same thing with the university. Same scenario. They're all lying to you. They're all manipulating. There isn't one person that's lying or manipulating you. And I've been around the block. Like the Steve Grade guy. A guy who's like me, pretty honest. Except for him, he gives up the loyalty to God by appeasing his own ego. By reverting back to his basically made up theology, his own theology, what he considers something that he created. He didn't create it. He just took a bunch of stuff and built up a facade. That's him. I mean, he could be 99% perfect and 1% not, and the whole thing is garbage. And I won't even go there. And I don't need to. I only need to go there for myself. You should be able to make one of these videos as you go through things. You'll fill up and it will start to come out. Someone comes to you and says something, you don't say, well, you come to the right place, brother. Come on in. Come on into my church. Not me. I'd say, you know what? Pray to God. Ask him. You read the Bible, you notice something you want to talk, come on back, we'll chat about it as equals. I'm not your intercessor. We're just two people who believe. Equals. I may have the position of an elder, and someone else may have a position of an elder in a different situation. And the person I'm the elder of will learn and become an elder to other people. More than likely not. Because people don't care. People don't listen. They're not going to listen to this. But they know about it. And that's what I've done with a lot of these people. I've even talked to them in person. And I've told them. It's like, well, I say that a lot. You've been told. And that's all it takes. The realization of their judgment, because they're judged now. The judgment already happened. That was mostly for Jews. Before Jesus. After that, even before that, it was all automatic. It's like, oh, you're a disciple of Christ? There you go. You pass from judgment into life. But that was pre-judgment. At the judgment. After that, it's you die, you go to hell. You die, you go to God. But it's already happened. And they know that. And that's another reason why people don't want to talk to me, because that judgment that they know is upon them, I remind them of it, basically. I make them aware that it's there, and they don't want to hear that. Because they're lying to themselves. Their ego, their drugs, their pills, their alcohol, whatever it takes, keeps them from looking at themselves. Because God really is judgment. And they can't look at him. They can't be honest with God. Tell him, oh yeah, I masturbate and cheat on my wife and cheat on my husband and beat my kids and rape my kids. God knows what else people are doing. The same thing that's used to manipulate people on earth, Satan uses that to manipulate you, to keep you from God. It doesn't matter if you do it or not. It's that if you're willing to admit it. If someone came to me and said, well, we know all the stuff you do, I'd say, so what? Well, we're going to tell everyone. I don't care. I could be president of the United States and be like, we're going to show everyone that you're jerking off to internet porn. Show them. I don't give a shit. What are you going to do with someone like that? You can't manipulate them. They don't care about money like me. I don't care about money. I don't care about really anything. Because I gave it all up. My wife comes to me and says, I'm going to leave you. Bye. See ya. I don't care. I don't care about anything. I've already given it up. That's not the reality, of course. But that's really what it is. And I don't need anything or anyone anymore. And trust me, I needed people. I needed to be around women. I needed to be around friends. I needed these people. And I still like to be around people. I'm always bugging people at the gym. And they're nice enough to talk to me. And it's nice to get to know them. But I don't need them. I know they don't need me. Because I don't have anything to offer them. I don't want anything from them. I have nothing to sell them or to give them. I have everything to lose and nothing to gain. If they go to God, which I've talked to some people, if they go to God, like I've been recommending here, good for them, honestly. But it doesn't change anything for me. If 90% of the people in this world became just like Jesus, none of these things would happen. We wouldn't have the presidents that we've had. We wouldn't have the wars we would have. Wouldn't be necessary. The 10% wouldn't be able to manipulate us like they do everyone else. But that's just not going to happen. And for the most part, even these people that do, the few people that I know of, I don't know if they really do it or not. Maybe they will one day. Probably not. It's just like investing. I knew it. Everyone, when I was younger, I invest. I'm an investor. I'm a day trader, some of these people. Not today. All the things they were doing, they were basically just lying, puffing themselves up. Just like my friends who gamble. Oh yeah, I won so much money. Turns out they lost $1 million. They lied about it. Because they had to pump their own ego up. They had to lie to themselves to keep themselves going. But it's those lies that keep you down. It's those lies that keep you away from God. It's not that you did it. It's that you just can't admit it. Your ego won't let you. God doesn't want you. There are so many reasons why people believe God doesn't exist. And it's not because he doesn't exist. It's because of the person. Some people think that God is Jesus and whatever, and they pray to Jesus. Even in the Bible, it says not to do that. Even if Jesus is God, you still address him as God or Father, right? People don't even do that. It's a book. Read it. It's right there. But people don't care. You know, when you're younger, you fall in love with someone and you just can't stop thinking about them. And all of a sudden, like, you're a teenager, you know, he's writing poems. I had these friends, they would write poems about women. These my friends, you know. It's like a poem. And we'd make fun of them and steal it and read it. And, you know, that's what this love does to you. You want to have sex with the girl, you want to be with them all the time. You know, it's just the way it is. And that's the way it is for me with God. It's that same, you know, constant thinking in that direction. And it may not be him all the time. I mean, I'm focusing on the Bible, maybe I'm focusing on something else, but it's all towards it. I can't stop trying to figure out what Jesus is really saying. And I spend most of my time arguing with other people about what he never ever said. Everyone I've talked to almost just believes something else that's not even mentioned in the verse they're talking about. These are people that have YouTube channels. I just talked to one yesterday about Lazarus, Luke 16. Doesn't say any of the stuff that these people are talking about. Not even close. But it's this, and it's this dogmatic theological view, and it's this, and all you're doing is fucking people up. Because they believe it. And this is actually something that maybe someone could learn. I even wrote someone back, I'm like, you know, it's kind of ironic that you don't even get what you're talking about. Because the lesson in it, you would actually maybe learn something that applies to what you're doing. It just goes right over your head because you're not looking at it. Everyone's trying to learn this stuff on their own. And they get in groups and they start whiffing each other. They get a whiff of each other's assholes. And you know, they get all high on Jesus. And oh, wow, we're so smart. And we know all this stuff. And then you go to some other guy. I talked to a guy on YouTube and I blew his argument out of the water. And that's not what this is about. That's not how you apply it either. It's about you as an individual going to God and saying, I've given up everything. And this is who I am, and I'm aware of it. I know you are. Just honesty. You can do anything with that person, but you can't do anything with a person that just won't admit things. Tries to conceal things. That's not the point. It's not the point to bring someone in to your realm because you're just going to destroy it. You're not perfect, but at death, you will be made perfect. But you have to cross some sort of line. And that's up to God. It's just like, who gets in? That's up to God. Who goes to hell? Who goes to heaven? That's up to God. I have no idea. And no one else does either. No one can get you anywhere. Like in John, I was talking to someone, he's like, oh, you got to be born again. Actually, it really says born from above. And then it talks about other things in John 3. When he's talking to Nicodemus. Born from above, which means God is the one that does it. God does everything. He's the one that decides. I don't know how, but he says when it's ready. When you're ready. When I was ready. And I didn't even know it was happening. I look back and say, yeah, pretty sure that happened. I could tell things are different now. But only looking back. I didn't see a bright light in the Virgin Mary, in the corner of my bedroom. When it happened, it didn't happen like that. I just started to change because I started to realize things. I look back, look back. Oh, I get it now. I get it now. That's repentance. Most people don't do things because they don't want to get in trouble or they're too old. They just don't have the energy. But they never learn anything. No one ever really learns anything. And the way religion and these universities are structured, what are you learning if Paul disagrees with Jesus? Even if that's true, who cares? Who cares? Who's in charge here? Jesus. There you go. Oh, well, Paul was talking to Jesus after he died, and he has a different message, and his message, no, it didn't. Nothing's changed. And the other is a difference because someone said, what if? Let's create a whole new view. And what if this were possible? And all of a sudden this what if is now a church, a school of thought, a theology, an institution. Don't think it's possible? You ever heard of dispensationalism? That's completely made up. Mormonism? They're the richest church in the world, as I understand it. Completely made up. The way they've manipulated things to become that wealthy. And you don't think they're not manipulating other people? And the government lets them get away with it. Do you know why the government lets people get away with these things? Scientology, for example. It's because they control people. Hopefully a lot. And when you control those people, you can control the popes and the leaders. You can go, hypothetically, to the Mormon church. You can go to the leaders. Say, hey guys, tell from your internet activity and your drives and your storage that you've been fucking lots of kids lately. Not a good thing, but we can look the other way if you do this, that, or this. Okay. And they do it, and they just continue on. Oh, by the way, we're going to have to tax you a little bit. Make it appear like, something we're actually doing something. Someone's going to have to go to jail, and you're going to have to pay us like $1 million, and there you go. And that's what happens. And it happens everywhere with everything. It's all a game. Atheism was created as a byproduct of Christianity. And then it's like, well, someone has to control these atheists, so let's start a religion with atheists. And we'll get Bart Ehrman to write a book, and all the atheists will love Bart Ehrman. And there you go. And now we just tell Bart Ehrman what to say? I've talked to him. This guy's, he's following, what's that word? He's doing what he's told. He's just following a trend. Just like he would if he was a Catholic. It's like, I'm a Catholic. I work as a Catholic educator. I'm just Catholic Church. Doesn't even matter if I believe it or not. That's the narrative. That's what I push. And people love me for it. And I'm rich. And I'm popular. And I could fuck my dog in the asshole and I'll never get caught for it. As long as I do what they say. Because there's no room for honesty. Even if you are honest, it's not going to matter if they find out you've been, fucking cats that, walk around the neighborhood. When they expose someone for something like this, and this is all hypothetical. I'm not saying Bart Ehrman fucks cats. Maybe he does, I don't know. Maybe he's got a website that he shares cat fucking videos with other people that fuck cats. I don't know if that's true, but if it was, they would use that to manipulate him. President Trump did the same thing. They would use that to manipulate him with. Because their ego is more important than God. They could never go to God if something like that's true, unless they admit it. And they're never going to admit it because it's too embarrassing. So if you do something, you better be able to admit that you do it. And you don't really have to admit it to everyone, but you have to admit it to God. You have to admit it to yourself. Wow, you're a real jerk at the Christmas party last year. Well, so-and-so pissed me off, so I can be a jerk. You come up with an excuse. Not going to work with God. God doesn't need to know that I fuck cats and share the videos with other people. The President of the United States of America. Well, he already knows it, but you won't admit it. And you make an excuse for it. That's sin. It's not even that you really do it. It's that you admit you won't do it. You don't do it. You make an excuse. Well, the president does it. If I'm gay, then God's gay. Jesus loves me just how I am. If I'm transgender, Jesus is transgender. I mean, this is the modern reality. And you think the opposite of it is more correct, well, they're just as wrong. Because what's the opposite of the lesbian church, the dispensational church? That's a sin. You can't do that. When Jesus comes in the rapture, you see what I'm saying? Everywhere you go, it's wrong. Every religion I've studied is wrong. Really wrong. Not even close to being right. And I mean a lot. The major ones. Maybe there's some house church somewhere in Montana that I'm not aware of, but I'm talking about, people like Steve Gregg, which isn't that big, preterism, all these denominations, they're all wrong. Wrong. Some of them, you can't really tell what they're saying exactly, but you can analyze it. You can even use AI to analyze it. I analyzed it just by myself, and it's like, no, it doesn't work. And it only takes one. Like Mormonism. It only takes one thing. Just like you, just like me. only takes one little thing to lie about, to not be honest with about ourselves and God, and you're out. If you're in. If you ever get in. Which more than likely you're not. Which is why you suffer. Then you go to church and they say, well, you suffer because God's testing you with fire. It's going to be a fire. It's going to be this. It's going to be all these things. It's all a lie. They're lying and manipulating you. They're playing a tune and they want you to dance to it. And then when you don't dance to it, you're a moron. You just don't have any faith. And then you go to the atheist and they lie to you in the exact same way. It doesn't matter where you go, you'll be lied to. You'll be lied to, manipulated. There's no truth out there. There's only the discernment of what's out there between what's right and what's wrong. And not just right in a be a good person, be a bad person. Right in the eyes of God. As where you are. Positionally, where you are. Between him and the world. If you're close to him, you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. It just doesn't happen. Everything's taken care of. You don't have to worry about anything. I don't even work. God takes care of everything. Of my own finances. And I screw them up sometimes pretty bad. And they just get fixed. Because I talk to him about it. Same thing with my wife. Things happen. It's like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this person? And it just gets fixed. Everything just happens. All I have to do is ask him and talk to him about it. He's my therapist, if you will. And it just happens. Everything just happens. The masturbation. I just do it. I don't even really want to do it, but I do it. If I had a choice, I wouldn't do it at all. That's just not the reality, though. But I'm not going to lie about it. And if someone wants to blackmail me for it, go right ahead. I don't care. Oh, well, you didn't pay your taxes. I think I did, but go ahead and try your best. You know, if someone wants to manipulate you, they will. But based on something that you did and didn't do, in terms of you and your relationship with God, that's completely different. Because there's what really happened. Maybe there's something that you didn't even realize. And you're like, oh yeah, I guess I do that. And now you just realized it. You're still going to do it though, more than likely. That's just the way it is. Don't let it keep you from God. Not because you do it, because you conceal it. Or you think, well, I do it, I must be horrible, I'm not going to try. And I've been praying and you know, life sucks still anyway. The way you think things are, I don't think anyone's really ever heard of what's really going on. Especially like as far as the New Testament goes. The New Jerusalem and Jerusalem are two different places. Find anyone else on this planet that would agree with me on that. I haven't found one. There's types of separations, but not as it's written, which is weird. You figure they'd know. And you know what's funny? They actually probably did know at some point, but over time it got changed. You'll look at a lot of these religions and they've changed a lot. Even Mormonism has changed a lot. And it's supposed to be based on like, you know, the true message of the Bible or whatever, you know, whatever they claim. Their own religion from when it was started has been changed. Like 30% of their Bible was destroyed because it was sitting in some barn and it was getting water was leaking on it. And it just, you couldn't make any sense of it. And they just change everything. They just make stuff up. And everyone believes it. The Catholic Church makes things up. All of them do. They just modify it and change it according to the zeitgeist, basically. Like the Catholic Church right now with You know, the gays and stuff like that. And for some reason, the gays can wear tank tops and shorts into church. And that's just hunky-dory. Just all these types of things. Things change. And they do it to survive. To keep their position. Just like your politician. They do whatever it takes to stay in power. They don't care about you. Nobody cares about you. You don't even care about you. You would kill yourself. You probably are anyway. Or getting ready to it. Maybe you'll never actually do it, but you have to deal with it. It's like this everywhere. And there's only one way out. And people know about it. Just like the Bible, they know about it. But they don't realize it. Because they don't see it clearly. And I think that might be on purpose too, come to think of it. I was talking about that earlier. I think everyone has to start at 0. But they just have to figure it out for themselves. If anything that I'm saying, it's prayer. Going to Him, believing in Him, not holding anything back, and being really honest. Like, I really want... there's something about it. I don't know what it is, but this is where I should be. When I was 20, that wasn't the priority. And that's why God left me. I could feel it. I would say that was more like an angel thing. Kids get angels, and after a while, it's like, all right, see ya. We're out of here. We're not going to protect you anymore. And I felt it. It's horrible. These people's lives, look at my life. These people's lives, it's horrible. Horrible. The things they have to do to make themselves feel better. The things they have to do to just get themselves up and functioning so they can go out there and earn a living. So they can survive. They have hobbies that they enjoy. These things that they do. A lot of people just do it so they can enjoy their hobby. Or buy a house or be with their family. And it lasts for a while, and then after a while, it's kind of goes away. But then what? I've known people that have lost the ability to do their hobby, and they kill themselves. What's the point? Everything is a lie. Everyone is against you. Everybody. Nobody likes you. You don't even like yourself. God loves you. He wants to. But most people just don't love Him. They don't respect Him. And they're not serious. They're not serious. They're not serious at all. They think they are. I thought I was when I was a kid too. I don't know if I ever thought that there wasn't a God. There was a time where maybe I didn't care anymore. Not on purpose, but just, I don't know. Life. Just doing life. There's only one way out of this place, and you can't do it because you don't want to go to hell. And you can't do it only because you want to be happy or you want to be rich. That's not what it's about. You'll have relief from this world. And it's so simple. That's the other thing with all these schools and stuff. I can't even tell you how simple this stuff is. How simple and easy and Just straightforward it is. And it doesn't matter what I say, even if I manipulate you, it doesn't matter because you have God. And it's just you and him. And you'll never lose. You'll always be protected. It's like having a force field around you. You have to sit here and watch the whole world destroy itself. And that's just the way it is. They're going to destroy themselves. You can't stop them. Don't even care to. It's not because it's hopeless. It's just because that's the way it's supposed to be. As near as I can tell, yeah. Why do people die and suffer? Contrast. That's how simple that is. People get freaked out when I say that. What else could it be? Oh, what about those Christians that got their heads cut off? What about them? The apostles got their heads cut off, maybe, and they're in heaven with Jesus. So, how's that a bad thing? If I died right now and went to God, would that not be better? But what if dying, a pack of wolves tore me apart when I was out on a hike? Would it matter? You know, we can talk about this all day long, but in the end, it's the same thing. It's the same position. God truly is the only way, and he is real, and this world is shit. It always has been, and that's the whole point. I mean, out of a big pile of shit comes a gem like you. But you on your own have to want to become what he wants. He wants you to do it. He'll move mountains. He'll do more than that. He'll paralyze you if you have to, if he has to, just to get you to see properly, if that's what it takes. And everyone's different, and everyone will be different. That's why in the Bible, you can't say it's this, or that, but you can definitely tell what it's not. It's not this, it's not that, it's not, well then what is it? I don't know. But it's not any of those. It's the same thing. It's fluid, it's like wind, it just comes and it goes, you know, it just is what it is. It's like the stock market. One day there's just a sale on. That's just the way it is. You can't plan it. It just, when it happens, and you take advantage of it. It's just the way it is. You can't plan anything. You're not in control of anything. It just is. And that truly is it. I can say that. Don't take my word for it, but you'll see for yourself. There's nothing on this world that can substitute going to God and changing who you are. Nothing. Because that's what's required. It's not about being rescued from God in the rapture. It's about you turning into something that he can use for whatever benefit. I don't know what we're going to be doing in the afterlife. I don't know what kind of body we're going to have. These things that people concentrate on. Oh, we're going to have this type of body, we're going to have that type of body. Who cares? How many people are even going to get to that point? You're going around talking about how Joseph Smith is this, that, you know, or the Pope is Jesus on earth. I don't think you have to worry about the afterlife body part of it. Because I really don't think you're going to get that far. I very much doubt it. maybe you'll get it. And some people will get it after a while. Maybe someone will hear something like this, and 10 years later they'll come across it again, and maybe they'll listen to it, maybe they won't. Because the message is simple. Go to God. Bypass everything and everyone and just go straight to Him and ask Him. Father, what theological seminary should I go to? But He's not listening. Oh, there is no God. No, there is one, but He's not listening to you because you're praying Him a question, but you're expecting Him to answer you. He's not going to, because there's something wrong with you and you haven't figured it out. And your theology school isn't going to bring you any closer to it. No one ever consults God. Ever. No one ever teaches that. As far as I know. I've asked about it. Some people say, oh yeah, my church does. I actually like to hear about that. Because it has to, you figure it has to exist somewhere on earth, right? But then how come people still don't get it? If you succeed, it's because of you. If you fail, it's because of you. It's all your decision. And if you love God enough, you'll find out eventually. But you do have to be in love, like your first love when you're a teenager. To be infatuated with it. Because that's how I am. I just think about it every day, all the time. Just stuff. Stuff to do with God and Jesus. Good luck.